now 7 o'clock, and I'm going to call to order the Board of Education regular meeting for Monday, October 8th, 2018, at 7 p.m. The Board of Education makes available at least one current copy of the Open Meetings Act, which is posted on the west wall of the meeting room and accessible to all members of the public. Would you now please stand and follow with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first up, we have the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the consent agenda as presented, including approval of the agenda as submitted, approval of minutes of the regular Board of Education meeting on September 10th, 2018, approval of budgetary receipts and expenditures for September 2018, approval of Committee of the Whole minutes for September 27th, 2018, approval of option students, and excuse the absence of Janet Byers.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? At this point, Jason has a couple comments to make.
Just some basic budgetary highlights for all of you. First of all, thank you to our audience in attendance, and second of all, some basic overview things. This month saw us with revenue of $3,533,489.19. Bills total of $453,876.46, and then payroll $1,651,449.50. The reason this is important, I think, for us to track every month is just for you to get an idea of what our revenue and our bills are in comparison to our payroll on a month-to-month basis, and see how that impacts the budget process and how it all flows. So with that said, some basic account highlights. The general fund, the balance is up, reflective of September tax collections, which is a nice shot in the arm. And I would just say a sincere thank you and appreciation to our taxpayers and patrons. And please keep in mind that you are tax facilitators as well as taxpayers. So we appreciate what you do in regards to helping us provide the best opportunities for our students. The second thing I would tell you is that keep in mind that as we see that little boost in September, it will begin to decline and depreciate as we move through the months of October to December, just in reflection that those are not real strong revenue months. Nice thing about it is our state aid will kick in, has kicked in, and will continue to do so for the next 10 months, so that helps pick up a little bit of the slack. But that's just kind of a highlight, a brief overview of the budget from 1,000 feet, and we'll just add those comments so you can feel comfortable about where we are in perspective to financial status.
Anybody have any comments, questions? All right, can I have your votes, please? That passes 5-0. Next up, we have the approval of the proposed accounts for payment. Steve, can I have a motion?
I move the Board of Education of District 15 approve the payment of bills as presented.
I second the motion.
Okay, motion by Steve, second by Nancy. Any comments or questions? All right, votes please. And that is 4 with 1 abstaining. Is that Doris? Is that? Okay. All right. Next up, we have outstanding recognition. Employee of the Month, Dr. Nielsen.
Good evening. I was a little bit concerned as we started this evening because I'm like, oh, where's my Employee of the Month? She's not out in the audience. However, my Employee of the Month is here. So if Miss Danielle Fairbanks would come down and join me, that'd be great. Danielle Fairbanks is the Administrative Assistant to the Superintendent and is the October Employee of the Month. Danielle has a thankless job that oftentimes is overlooked and underappreciated by staff. Danielle is always kind, welcoming, and quick to help anyone who comes to see her. She spends countless evenings away from her family attending meetings, organizing events, and writing reports for our district. She wears many hats and is expected to know many things. Even when Danielle doesn't have the answer someone is looking for, she is quick to find the answers that are needed. She also keeps track of so many items and paperwork for teachers and staff. One staff member shared, "If it weren't for Danielle and her patients, my licenses would expire and continuing education would be lost." Not only does Danielle spend countless hours at school, but she is also very involved in the community. Danielle's on the Main Street Board and helps to promote Beatrice and all it has to offer. She continues to think about ways to best market not only the community, but also she finds ways to place Beatrice Public Schools at the forefront through the Facebook page and our website. Danielle is such a bright individual. She has only been in her position for a few years, but the amount of knowledge she has for the position is amazing. Another staff member noted, "I can always rely on Danielle to help with questions that come my way. Even if I'm asking a question for the second time, Danielle is patient." Danielle is always willing to help whenever and wherever she can. With the changes in several administration positions, Danielle has added job duties and supports the administration with a guiding hand to ensure their questions are answered. I'm proud to have Danielle as a co-worker. We would like to congratulate you as October Employee of the Month.
I would like to point out that she's also patient when you ask it the fourth and fifth time.
I gotta say that when Debbie retired, I didn't think there'd be anybody that could possibly step up and take care of what she'd always done, and Danielle has done an amazing job. All right, next up, we move on to our information portion. We'll start off with our superintendent report. Mr. Alexander.
Okay, several items to update you all on this evening. Again, congratulations, well deserved. Paddock Lane, just a quick few highlights. Each item is being addressed item by item, so as we get closer and closer to completion date, some notes for you. The donated concrete has been poured and is in place on the east side. That was done on Friday. There's just some splash work to finish up in regards to concrete, so that's being worked on. The ERV completion is scheduled for tomorrow with Plymouth Electric and Rogie Construction. Final concrete pouring will take place as weather allows, and then the seating at the north end of the building will be done as soon as it dries up enough that we can spray the weeds and get the seeds in place. So that's all kind of in a nutshell where we are, and on the docket to be completed as discussed. Next item, I've had several discussions with concerned parents and business owners about having a physical therapist, doctor, or another qualified medical professional on the sidelines of games. As you know, with departures in the past year, we are experiencing a need in that area. The question of me has been, is it a financial struggle? And the answer to that is just upfront and honest, yes. It's very difficult to look at providing that type of funding for a person to be on sidelines when we struggle to be able to provide all the funds we need to provide enough people in the classroom. So in answering that question, in all honesty, for our public and for everyone here, the answer to that is yes. My question in response to that is, as a medical provider, if someone feels the need and would like to help and volunteer in that regard, we would certainly be willing to entertain that idea of having volunteers on a activity-to-activity basis. And this is a great relationship for us to establish. It's a relationship that we should establish and will continue to work in establishing with our healthcare providers. So we do have some discussions in the near future scheduled in those regards, and I want you to know that Neil has had some conversations with different people, and so we are looking into that. And I also am getting ready to do that. So thank you to everyone for their concern and patience and understanding. And you know, if there is someone out there, please feel free to step forward and help us out. We'd be glad to entertain that idea. We can't promise financial backing, but we can promise a huge thank you from our students, our staff, and our parents. We can promise that we will get you out in front of the people and let them know that we do appreciate you, and we will, again, recognize you as much as possible to let you know that we appreciate it. So, with that stated, update on the luck of the Orange Vet. Mr. Kaiser Kale continues to send out information and keep us updated on where the planning is at on the luck of the Orange event. different committees have been established, and they are working behind the scenes to come to agreement on all the things that are going to go into that event, but we are truly excited to be a part of that and appreciate his leadership in that capacity. That event has been moved. We discussed the idea of having it in November, but we have decided to move it in the best interest of everybody to late spring if possible. So that's in the works, just keeping you a little bit abreast of some information there. The BLAST program kickoff is it's coming up next Tuesday, right? No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow you will be wearing your fabulous red high top.
I've got a brand new pair of red Chuck Converse high top shoes, and I'm excited to put into action at Lincoln, Thursday at Paddock, and Friday at Stoddard to help kick off the BLAST program.
Walking is a blast.
Walking is a blast, and I'm excited to do that. So thanks to Doris for her help in organizing all of that, providing me with a new pair of shoes.
And I would like to say it's the combined efforts of the Beatrice Hospital Foundation and the Beatrice Educational Foundation. So those two came together to provide this program for our students.
It's a great program. If you haven't been to the after-school program, I highly recommend it. It'll bring joy to your heart, seeing what's happening with those kids. So, participating in some Spark training on Wednesday the 10th in regards to negotiations and board packet information, so looking forward to that opportunity. Just an update for you on the night of the Great Pumpkin, October 25th. We are going to have a table downtown, hopefully from the hours of 5 to 6:30 with a banner, and just hand out some candy. Please, if you can make attendance, I know some of you are already tied up in other activities, but if you can make your attendance possible, that would be greatly appreciated. Put some information in front of you earlier in regards to the SINCAP report. That's our relationship with Southeast Community College and the career academies that take place. Just a quick bit of information on that, and for all of you students sitting in the audience, know that for half of tuition credit, so 1 hour of tuition costs you, let's say, $95. All right, and each class is worth 3 credit hours. You can get that for half price through this program. And if you don't know what it is, talk to your nearest counselor or high school principal. He'll be glad to inform you of it, but it's a great deal that will get you jump-started in your college preparation or 2-year degree or whatever it might be that you're pursuing. So that information is in front of you as a board, just wanted to put it there. An update on the preschool video that we are proposing to be sent out. We had our first meeting last week, exchanged ideas on different portions of the video. The next meeting date is to be scheduled, but we're setting a time frame of somewhere between November 7th and January 1 to release the video, in which time we hope to be able to show it to you before it comes out. So just know that's on the docket. Next, and in all sincerity, I hope I don't leave someone out in this, but I want to send a tremendous congratulations and thank you to all of our students and staff that are participating in our fall sports activities. Whether it be our music program and their first performance, our girls golf team that's competing today at state, our cross-country team that is doing awesome and preparing second in the River City Conference and now hosting districts on Thursday, our tennis team that's improving and ready to compete in state this week, our volleyball who's picked up just quality wins in the last 2 weeks and gearing up for down the stretch competition, our football team that has made huge strides and battled to a quality win last Friday night. It was exciting to watch happen on Breast Cancer Awareness Night. Just a great group of people that are working hard out there. And if that's not enough, our band, Saturday, receives a superior rating, first in Class B and third overall in all classes Saturday at their competition. So congratulations to all those folks. Thank you for the hard work that you're doing, and I hope I didn't leave anybody out. But that comes from someone who just enjoys watching our kids work so hard to hone their skills on a weekly basis. So with that's my update.
All right, thank you, Jason. Next up, we have the student update. Hannah.
All right, so like you said, we won our football game last Friday. Woohoo! And then on Saturday, we were number one for the marching band contest. We were number one for B class, and then we were third overall. So that was really good. And then today, state golf started, and that's today and tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, there's a pink out for the volleyball game. And then softball, state softball starts on Wednesday, and it goes Thursday and Friday. And then state tennis is Thursday, so we're full of state athletics. And then cross country, we're hosting this year for districts, and that's on Thursday, so come out and support us. And then on the 12th, this Friday, that's our last home football game, so come out and support the boys. And then there's a marching band contest at Seacrest. That's next Saturday. And then on Tuesday the 16th, we have a blood drive, and it's at the high school. It's in the auxiliary gym. So that's happening then. And then we have senior night for volleyball. That is on the 18th. So again, come out and support the girls. And then we have the musical. So that's the 27th, 28th, and 29th. We're working hard for that, so it's all coming together. That's about all I have. It's happened at the high school.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll move on to the board reports. We'll start off with the committee of the whole. Mrs. Martin.
The committee of the whole meeting for September was held on September 27th. Dr. Nielsen, in her curriculum review, shared a handout on effective instruction in every classroom blueprint with board members. She added that the focus for this year is going to be on principles, and that the plan complements the high reliability schools book that they're currently reading. She also said swivel cameras, 2 per building, are being purchased so staff can get a better look at the learning process and how it's going for teachers while they're actually teaching. Mr. Alexander said that specifications have been confirmed and requests for proposals for a new bus have been sent to companies. Mr. Alexander also talked in the policy update portion. He said that in the safety and security policy, he said that evolves out of recommendations from the NDE safety and security standards. And he said that the memorial guidelines policy is designed to give direction and guidance on what is recommended based on the research conducted by Dr. Dudley, a nationwide crisis response trainer. And it's a new policy which provides guidance to the administrative team. The discussion was also held on the master facility planning, and Dr. Nielsen shared that the master facility planning meetings went well last year and that it's time to move forward on this topic. Mr. Alexander noted he recalls 3 items for meetings last spring: safety, equitable buildings, and efficiency. And these are 3 very important areas that we need to take time to discuss within the community. Then Mr. Alexander said he'll be working with Pat Phelan to get some additional details and possible dates set. Then it ended with a discussion on moving some committee of the whole meetings so that they can we can participate in some community events. That ends my report.
All right, thank you, Doris. Next up, stance report. Steve, did you have anything for us?
The stance group, which is a bunch of like size and kind of schools that are interested in a lot of the legislative things going on. Things that were brought up as highlights this month are Senator Moorfield's LR 447. It's a focus on school safety, more open-ended of the 3 interim studies, and shall we be providing costs for increased security measures. So that's going to be whether is the state going to help out with that, or is that going to all fall back on us? Senator Pansing Brooks has LR 429, also a focus on school safety, SROs. calendar reminder, the director of the stance, they're having an upcoming School Safety and Security Summit, October 17th in Kearney. And all superintendents are encouraged to be present in hopes of positively influencing legislative proposals to assist schools also in that school safety area. I guess one of the kind of halfway humorous things about the stance this month is that current balance in the treasury is $4,808. So there was a motion made and the motion passed to have no fees for any of the stance members for this period, this year. So, and that pretty much that concludes my report. There will be a lot more things coming out on the legislative part, but probably not till the first part of the year.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Next up, we have School and Community and Staff Relations Committee. Mrs. Martin is going to cover that for Janet.
I and John Zimmerman met with the middle school staff on September 21st. Great was the way one middle school staff member described the year, so that got off to a great start. But then there were a few concerns. There are fewer paras at the middle school, and that was a concern because fewer classes can be covered and it reduced time with students. That was also helpful during lunchroom hours. One of the things I learned something I didn't know this, that it's important to read to your children when they're small because apparently they develop the ability to visualize when you're reading, and if you don't do that when you're young, then that's a skill that's really, you can't develop later on. So they said it's really important, and they're seeing some students that don't have the ability at middle school, and so that makes reading very difficult. They also thought that parent-teacher conferences should be studied because with Infinite Campus and emails available, fewer parents are attending conferences, but that they did say parent engagement continues to be a concern. They also talked about maybe having some training to help them work with students in poverty. And another person suggested maybe some compensation for staff time when attending summer training. But it ended on a high note. The administrative team received high marks because of their efforts, which has resulted in good staff morale, and all the staff felt that the administrative team works diligently with the teachers. So we'll meet again on October 26th with the Paddock Lane staff.
Okay, thank you, Doris. Did anybody have any comments or questions on any of the reports by the board? All right, we'll move on to the public forum. This is the proper time for anyone who wanted to speak in front of the board on any topic that we have commented on tonight. Was there anyone who wanted to step forward? All right.
Come on, guys, don't be shy.
Come on,
Nothing? I know you all had,
Cook's always got something to say.
Monday Night Football cannot be on any of your minds out there. I know you're excited to be here, and if it weren't for some class assignment, you probably wouldn't be here, but we're glad to have you. I do have a few thank yous to pass out that I'll pass around. First of all, to Dr. Hoffman, as we said earlier, just a note of thanks to him and in appreciation for stepping up to help us with our injured players on the sidelines and be there as a person that we can go to. Nobody, you know, he just volunteered to do this, so we greatly appreciate that on his behalf, and thank you for his assistance. So that'll be coming around. And then we do have 4, yep, you can sign them as well. We do have 4 Hope Squad members that were not given much prior notice to being on TV the other day, and we want to thank them for their efforts in being very quickly prepared and doing a very nice job on Channel 8 News, if you caught it, on what Hope Squad is all about. So those are coming around as well. So thank you to them and their families for allowing them to participate. And all Hope Squad members for that matter. These 4 were just, I don't know if the short straw got drawn or what the deal was, but they did a terrific job of representing Beatrice Public Schools.
Okay, thank you, Jason. We'll move on to the discussion portion of our meeting. First up, we have first reading of 2406, Safety and Security. Mr. Alexander.
Yeah, and Hannah, I just want to say sorry that I took part of your report. I didn't mean to do that. It is amazing how fast fall activities are winding down. So if you haven't had a chance to get out and see what's taking place, please do so. Next month, you're in charge of the seat because you did such a great job. All right, in regards to policy and our discussions revolving around that, the first reading of policy 2406, safety and security, as we talked about in the committee of the whole meeting. This policy derives from the work of several different district teams that are in place that I don't even know if everyone knows who that is. So our crisis response team, our threat assessment team, safety and security team, our administrative team who puts in a lot of hours talking about these types of scenarios, and then our REMS team they're all working in conjunction with each other to make sure that we do provide the most safe and secure environment for our students as possible. Students, we appreciate your cooperation in that matter as well. But I can tell you that these groups are working diligently to assure that the safety and security of our students is at the forefront of all decisions we make. I can tell you that this policy is designed to utilize research from Dr. Duffy and his years and years of researching all types of different crises in schools and provide the most intuitive recommendations as possible. Just keep in mind that the training, the relationships, the outside entities, and the learning are an ongoing process. It never ends. There's always a new situation to think through. There is no perfect in any crisis situation. So even though we have this policy in place, which outlines proper procedures and protocols, we continue to strive to do our absolute best to prepare for those situations and hopefully never have to utilize this policy. But the policy ensures that the commitment is real and is serious to our students in nature. So that's the first reading of 2406, Safety and Security. Policy 3538, Memorial Guidelines. Again, not an easy topic to discuss, but kudos to our crisis response team for offering guidance and direction to our administration and board on proper protocol and procedures for acceptable memorial practices. No one, and I mean no one, myself included, wants to prevent anyone from remembering an important person to any of us here. But what we do want is to remember with grace, dignity, and compassion, and keep the focus where it needs to be, which is on whatever particular activity it is we're involved in. So therefore, I present to you this policy and recommendation of what crisis teams are utilizing and fits proper protocols and recommended practices across the state of Nebraska and the nation, and makes a recommendation as to how to handle these things appropriately for everybody involved and keep the focus where the focus needs to be. So that is policy 3538, we're recommending in terms of memorial guidelines. Those are the two first reading policies. All the rest of the policies are second reading policies that at this time I can take questions or comments as needed, but we've talked them all through at prior meetings, and at this time I think they're ready for your final graces as a Board of Education, and we'll go into them in detail unless there's questions.
All right, then what we have remaining is second reading of 3305, Purchasing. Did anybody have any questions for Jason on that? With that, we have AR 3305, Credit Card and Charging Procedures. Second reading of 3305.1, Public Lettings. Second reading of 3525, Nutrition Services. Second reading of 3525.1, School Food Procurement. Second reading of 9205, Members Dealing with Complaints, Personnel, or Material. 8.7.1 AR 9205, Organizational Plan, Line of Authority. Second reading of 9225.3 order of business. And did anybody have any questions on any of those that they wanted to comment or question on? Then we have an update on the bus grant. Did you want to comment anything on that?
Yeah, and basically, as member Martin noted earlier in the meeting, we are in the process of getting RFPs back, or we've sent out an RFP, we're in the process of getting quotes back in terms of the grant. For those of you in the audience, we received a $42,000 grant earlier in the year that is geared towards bus replacement, and we're looking at what cost would be for basic replacement of what we currently have on status, what it would take to upgrade that with some different options, and then I guess what I would use terminology to describe as the Mac Daddy of buses, what that would take, and we'll see when it all comes back, and we'll present it to you as soon as we have all that information in place. But currently waiting for those companies to get back to us that we've sent RFPs out to, and we'll see when we get it all back, what it amounts to, bring it to you for recommendation.
Anybody have any comments or questions? All right, next up, we'll move on to our administrator's report. We have the level 3 program. This is Cordery Hoekstra.
A little bit of info. The front page is the level 3 info, the back is just a little something extra that was kind of fun that I wanted to share with you guys. So basically, the level 3 program is off and running. We currently have 5 students, which is what we thought we would start the year with. 4 of those students are Beatrice Public Schools kids, and then we have 1 contract-in student. And we've had our ups and downs when you start a new program, just everyone getting the feel for their responsibilities and the building and all the little details that you don't think about until they come up, but overall it's going pretty much how we expected. Terry's been there quite a bit, helping with the door alarm and cameras and other odds and ends, and we've had a lot of visitors as well from the contracted in school, and we've had the police over a couple times to get to know the kids, assist with some de-escalation, things like that. The focus of the program, though, is to help these kids that have some significant behavioral challenges. So mental health is a big piece. Every kid is receiving group therapy and individual therapy each week. And really the focus is on relationship building and being able to communicate your needs and your feelings in an appropriate manner, teaching based on behaviors, things like that. And of course, then we do focus on academics, but that is secondary to the behavioral challenges, so that they're able to get themselves where they need to be and then focus on the academics. Do you guys have any questions about the program?
What doesn't Terry do?
I know. He probably screens his calls when he sees me calling, because we have used Terry quite a bit, and we do appreciate everything that he's done for us, and that there's no end in sight, right, Terry? I've had a couple calls from some districts asking if we're still taking students, and of course we are. That process, we have a set process in place. Kids have to go through, functional behavior assessments and behavior plans and all these steps before a student would be accepted into the program. I'm okay if that happens a little bit later in the year. I mean, I know we're pretty well into the year already, but with the new program, everyone's still trying to see where they fit and get things running consistently every day. So we're not necessarily in a hurry, but no one has actually said we need to do this now. So I'm just talking with a couple of districts and helping them understand the process if they were to refer a student, how that would go, so.
Do you have a cap for number of students?
We had said 8, and I will tell you that the way things, 8 is a lot. I think 8 will be a lot. Basically, every student that comes into this program has come from a program where they've had a one-on-one staff person with them, and so 8 would be a challenge. 5 is a challenge some days, so 8 would be an extra challenge, but that was the cap that we had set on the program for the first year specifically. Any other questions on that? Okay, if you flip over, I don't know if you guys know anything about the sensory safari, but the Lincoln Zoo, the children's zoo, they put on the sensory safari every year. This is our 4th year of sending students, and it's really for sensory impaired students, so they can actually be hands-on with animals, where they touch, feel, hear, smell. They have zoo guides that lead tours to stations throughout the entire zoo, and then they have wildlife experts at each station, and as you see in the pictures, it's just a lot of fun. We sent 75 students and staff this year, which is the most we've ever sent, and usually it's around 50, so the popularity of it is growing. And then one of the nice things is I was able to get a grant to pay for the transportation, so that helped with offset the cost, but it's something our kids look forward to every year, and it's a great activity.
Anybody have any comments or questions?
Hey, Beth, maybe just for the good of the public, where is the core program located?
Oh, it is at Paddock Lane. It's on the east side of the campus in the brick building. It used to be the preschool.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Beth.
All right, with that, I'll give the notification of next meeting. The next regular board meeting will be November 12th, 2018 at 7 p.m. in the administration building. The committee of the whole meeting will be October 23rd, 2018 at 6 p.m. in the administration building. An agenda for the meeting, which shall be kept continually current, is readily available for public inspection at the superintendent's office during normal business hours. I would now take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 adjourn.
I didn't want to get too formal.
We got a motion and a second in a couple seconds. All right, all those in favor? I'll take your votes. I guess I'll just take them. Passes 5-0. We are adjourned.